Hello everyone. My name is Max, and the reason that I have a towel here is because I can only use one arm. And the reason I can use only one arm is because I had a shoulder operation, and therefore I can't move very well. And that's why I dropped coffee all over my desk, and I had to clean it with this towel. Now, what I try to do with these videos is I try to make my language learning, in this case, in this year, 2022, it's Persian. I'm trying to make that language learning as transparent as possible by sharing with you my progress, my plans, my strategies, my tactics, my bad moments, my good moments and everything. And this is a progress video in English, so I'll be telling you how exactly it's going with my Persian right now. I studied Persian now for over 200 days. To be exact, I studied Persian now for 259 days and for 189 hours. And my goal is to get to 300 hours by the end of the year. Okay, so in this video I tell you how it's going when it comes to vocabulary, grammar, listening, writing, speaking, and reading skills. And at the end of the video I have a short story about something that is not going so well. Okay, so let's start with the first thing. So the first thing is how is it going in terms of hours? Well, I already told you 189 hours. I have studied, and I'm a little bit behind on schedule actually. So I'm happy with 189 hours. But in the first 3 months of this year, of 2022, I already studied for 100. So I'm kind of disappointed that I couldn't keep up with that same speed, right? I also didn't study for 6 weeks during my holidays, and I got recently back on track, so I'm almost there. I need to study 2 more hours, and then I'm up to date with my own goal. And the goal is at the end of the year to study 300 hours, because then I know I'm going to be at least an A2 level. Okay, that brings me to the next thing. How do I know that I know enough to have an A2 level? Well, I look at the number of words that I've learned, and I look at the number of words in the application called LingQ. I'll link everything I talk about in the description. And LingQ, I use it to read. So I learn words by reading. And according to LingQ, I now know over 1,000 words, so 1,043 to be exact. And that number is actually increasing exponentially right now, because I finally feel comfortable reading in LingQ in Persian. Comfortable is a big thing to say, but at least I recognize many words directly, so I don't have to read them letter by letter anymore. And that makes me a lot faster. So that's going well. Reading is going well. I always listen along to everything that I'm reading in this application. So listening is in that sense going well. But I did also download a podcast. I listened to it while I was walking. So I can't work right now because they fixed up my shoulder. So I can't move it, so I can't work. I'm a teacher, but I can walk. And I listened to a Persian podcast, and I didn't understand almost anything. So I do still need to listen and read at the same time to better the connection in my mind between the letters or the words and the sounds of the words in Persian. Okay, so that's when it comes to the listening and reading. Then when it comes to grammar, I'm not doing anything at all when it comes to grammar right now, because I actually worked with a beginner's book already called Colloquial Persian. And there's loads of grammar notes in here. And what I did with the grammar notes is I just read them and try to understand them. And now while I'm reading, I do try to notice certain grammar points. So for example, in Persian, the second verb, as far as I understand, gets a little prefix. So I say, for example, Mikhaham yad begiram, which is I want, learn, do. So I want to learn in English. And I know that the last verb has a little prefix, which is begiram. Normally it would be migiram, which is the present tense. Right? So that's basically what I'm doing with grammar, is I'm keeping in my mind the grammar points. While I'm reading, I'm trying to notice what's happening. That's all. I'm not doing any grammar exercises or anything like that. And I don't feel like I need it right now, because I already noticed that when I try to think in Persian, my sentences, at least they sound more correct in my own mind. So I think it's going well enough, but I'm mainly focused on words. Okay. Then the 2 active skills, reading and speaking and writing. Writing, I'm almost not doing. I'm just copying sometimes a few words and sentences that I see, and I try to translate them word by word, right? After I write them down. So that's what I'm doing. I also make every now and then little post-its like this, sticky notes, and I put them on my wall. But that's basically all I do when it comes to writing. So I'm not really interested in writing right now. Again, I already did that using this book. I learned the script using this book and using another book. I copied, for example, this story completely. Okay, so I feel like I overdid the writing a little bit earlier on. So now I want to focus on understanding, on vocabulary. Then speaking, I want to practice my speaking actually, but I just can't because there's not a lot of Iranian people around here. I do have some Iranian students, but of course I'm teaching them Dutch, so we speak in Dutch, right? And then after class, they usually stick around a little bit to say some Persian words to me, and I try to respond in Persian, but that's not really the moment to have a comfortable, relaxed conversation, because my level's not high enough to be able to joke or to speak normally in Persian, right? I do need a lot of guidance. Normally I don't understand what they are saying, so I ask them to repeat it. So I need a very patient person, and I try to find that person here in the neighborhood. There's actually a girl, I've been told, that is from Iran that wants to learn Dutch. So I'm hoping to create, I'm hoping that I can create a language exchange with her in order to speak. So I'll let you know how that's going. And also yesterday I met Iranian guy, and we tried to speak some Persian, and it actually went quite well for about 10 minutes, and then we switched back to English because his friend was there, and his friend was not Iranian, so it was a bit impolite from us. So let me summarize that for you. I'm not doing anything when it comes to grammar except for noticing what's happening. I'm focusing on reading and listening to accumulate words that the application LingQ actually counts for me, and I'm up to over 1,000 now. And I'm not writing, and I'm trying to get a speaking partner. Okay. Now that brings me to the last point in this video, and that is my little class with an italki teacher. She also subscribed to the channel, so if you're watching this, hello. And it was not a success, okay? It was a failure, I think, this 1 hour. So I booked 1 hour with her, and it was funny. We had fun. She helped me understand the song that I'm studying. So she did great, actually, when it comes to studying the song. But what I wanted to try and practice my Persian. Now, even though I'm a beginner, there are ways as a tutor to make somebody speak. And the most important thing is that you need to have things written down that you can read out loud, so the student student that I'm talking about, for example me in this case, can read and listen at the same time. So it's a lot easier for the student to understand what's going on, and like that you can have kind of an artificial conversation with question and answer. Of course, you need to speak slow as a tutor or a teacher, and you need to speak simply, right? Simple structures. And she was not doing that, okay? She was speaking fast, switching to English all the time, and there was nothing I could read. So I didn't understand anything. We didn't have a conversation. We only talked about Farsi, but we didn't talk in Farsi. And that made me quite sad, actually. So of this hour, I didn't count 60 minutes as Persian practice, but only 20, because we were actually, those 20 minutes that I counted translating the song, and the other 40 minutes we were speaking in English, so it doesn't count. So the hours that I'm counting in Farsi need to be completely in Farsi, right? Otherwise it's not okay. So that's when it comes to speaking. It's not going so well that I can have conversations though, but I am moving to A2, and I'm still learning, trying to memorize the song Aga Yeruz, that I will also link in the description. And that's also a very slow process. It's already taking me months and months to try to memorize it. And I am getting there, but it will take at least 2 more weeks, and then I'm going to show you that I memorized an Iranian song completely. Now, for now, I'm going to say bye. I'm going to study more Farsi, and in the next video, I'll be showing you how my speaking sounds now. And that video will already come out this Sunday. So I see you when I speak better Persian.